so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Welcome to Thoughts for Rent, Realtors Keeping It Real. You are here with Jenni McKenna, owner-broker of McKenna Property Management. And to my right is my wonderful husband and best friend, Max Zerflew.
With the McKenna team at Keller Williams Realty for all your real estate needs. Call us at 702-434-HOME.
I always thought you had a great radio voice. You know that,
thanks,
Max?
man.
I don't have a good radio voice.
No?
No.
You sound like the girl from Herman's Head.
Yes.
Or Lisa Simpson. Is that her name?
Yes. And I also have been told that it sounds a little like Minnie Mouse, which, look what I'm wearing.
A Minnie Mouse Louis Vuitton sweatshirt?
Yeah, I don't even think it's really Louis Vuitton, but
You don't think so?
It looks really cool. I doubt Louis Vuitton does Mickey Mouse integrated sweatshirts. Anyways, we got off topic a little bit. What I want to talk about today is something that I've been really thinking about since the beginning of the month.
Well, that might be a trademark violation now that you mention it.
It probably is. So let's not
sued. Okay.
let's not say anything.
All right, go ahead.
Thanks for bringing it to everybody's attention. Anyways, I've been really thinking about what makes you and I stand out in the business world. So for those of you that might just be finding our podcast and starting to listen to us, I have been in the real estate business since 1993. Max, you've been in the real estate business since
2005. But before that, I was in high support of you and your career.
That's true. He would know everything that was going on. And then we opened up the property management division in 2005 because we felt like there was definitely a need here in Las Vegas, and it has served us well. So with that being said, we have a lot of years under our belt. And
in life and in business.
Yeah, thanks, Max. I'm not that old.
I'm older than you.
And I wanted to be able to share with any of the listeners out there, if they are thinking about getting into real estate, or they have something they want to do, property management, or better yet, any kind of business or anything that would help in their family life or personal life. I have been thinking about what makes us different is consistency.
You're just going to throw it out there, huh?
Yep.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. We are like the tortoise and the hare. A lot of people...
Am I the tortoise?
No, we're both the tortoise.
Okay.
Well, I thought you were going to say hare, so I'm sorry about that.
You're kind of fast. You're faster than me.
And we'll get to that.
Okay.
The thing is the tortoise and the hare, I think everybody listening understands the philosophy. You've got the hare that was a winner. He was fast. Everybody told him how great he was, and he went off to do this race. The tortoise, everyone kind of laughed at because he was slow. He was methodical. He knew that if he just kept on going, he was going to get the result that he wanted. I believe that in business, the tortoise wins every time. I think the hare is nothing more than the flash in the pan. It's the quick, I want to get into real estate to make a big buck. I want to go do this because everybody tells me I can get a great paycheck. And then the first couple months, 2, 4, 6 months down the line, they've been running around crazy, doing all these things and
or
not
15 years later. It doesn't
true that.
The whole time.
And not building a foundation of consistent habits. And so that's what I wanted to dive into.
Well, you look at the hare. You look at the cartoon of the hare in the tortoise versus the hare. The hare takes off, then he stops.
And takes a nap.
He takes a long nap, longer than anticipated.
Do you know why he takes that nap?
Probably went too fast.
He's going too fast. He's wearing himself out. And that's what happens a lot when people do January goals in the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. They're so excited. I'm going to work out an hour 4 times a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to drink water. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make 100 calls a day. Blah, 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 blah. It sounds just like the hare.
Well, there's a day designated as the quitting day. You know this.
I do. And is it the 9th? I
think it might be the 11th, but I'm not sure.
I think it's either the 9th or the 11th.
They say that's when most people quit their goals and give up on whatever they were going to try to do.
And that's because you cannot stay at that accelerated...
You can't sustain that level of energy.
There you go.
You don't think?
So I was thinking about how come you and I have been able to sustain our businesses and keep going without burning out. Because that's another thing. You don't want burnout, right? You might love what you do, but if you're not being careful, you could actually burn out. And then you're going to be looking somewhere else. I think it's because we do what we need to do in little small increments They don't seem to be overwhelming. Not to say that some days don't get overwhelming, but the habits that we produce and that we show up for, they're what we can do when life gets noisy, when life gets messy. And I think that's where the secret is right there. I know that Max wakes up, if you saw his TikTok, he wakes up every day and he makes the bed. And I think that sets the tone for what you're going to do. It's such a small, simple thing, but you organize your bedroom and you make the bed. When he comes into work, he is methodical about making sure that he is in at a certain time, has his laptop there, and then he dives right in.
Or maybe I don't. You never know. I might get here on the right time, but then I'll be like, well, I'm here, but I need to take a moment. And I think that's one thing that's different between you and me. When I'm in the office, my focus is not as focused as you. I couldn't sustain the energy you sustain. Very few people can. So while you are consistent, you're also consistent at a very high level of energy and performance. You concur?
I agree. But you know what I think that gets built on? It's like a muscle. If you had looked at me 20 years ago, you would have probably seen just a lot of messiness around the things that I do. But now over learning, I've been able to realize that you do just a couple things within an hour, and then you look back at the day and you've accomplished a heck of a lot.
That's true.
And I think you do that. You may not give yourself enough credit for it, but when you come in, even if you don't want to be here, you're still here.
Well, I always want to be here.
Do you always
Sure.
want to be here?
And our son asked us years ago, probably before in his teenage years, he said, hey, what do I do? What's the secret? You guys are in business, you're doing great. If I want to work towards that, what's the secret? And I think you and I both at the same time said the answer.
Do what you love.
Show up.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, yeah. At the time you said show up too.
No, that's true.
Just make sure you show up.
Yeah.
Gary Keller, president, founder of Keller Williams Realty, he said, I'm not the smartest guy out there, and I'm not the most talented. But I'm going to beat you every time because I'm going to show up every day, and I'm going to be consistent.
Yeah.
And he's right.
He's right. I'm living proof.
Yeah,
he's
we told
right.
our son that, just show up, and I don't know. Apparently it didn't catch on because sometimes he doesn't show up.
He's getting better. He's only 24, everybody. Everyone that's listening, he's only 24. He still's got to get through his 20s. I think he's doing great.
Real estate is a career in which people say, I want to get into real estate. I can make my own schedule. I can be my own boss.
Yeah.
But you soon realize that if you're not being consistent in your habits and in what you in your intentions of how to grow your business and work your business, you will fall by the wayside.
Yes.
You don't have a free. If you think you have a open schedule and a light schedule in real estate, you are dead wrong.
It's not true.
No.
I mean, it's a myth. The myth is that you get to make your own schedule. Really isn't true. You get to decide when to wake up. That's about what you get to decide, when to go into work. Because if you've got escrows, if you've got repair addendums, and you've got things that are very time sensitive, you don't get to make your schedule anymore. That contract just made your schedule.
True. I mean, but the other side of that is also you can make your own schedule if you're intentional about how you time block and what you're going to be doing, right? In those moments. People say work smarter, not longer.
And harder.
Work smarter, not harder.
Right.
Because a 40-hour, I can do in 20 hours what most people can do most realtors can do in 40 hours.
Correct.
It doesn't hurt that I have a licensed assistant and I got a team around me. But if you're intentional with your consistency and your time blocking, and you can have a pretty good scheduled life.
So many years ago, one of my coaches, because I have a business coach, one of the business coaches said to me, you need to follow this particular team member around and find out exactly what they do throughout the day. One, to find out if there's anything that needs to be added to their plate, if maybe you could help them in being a little more efficient, whatever the reason. That's what the challenge was. I could only do it for half a day, Max.
Follow someone in your office or some other realtor?
No, follow a team member that works for me.
Okay.
And you are not to say a word. The agreement was you would just have a notebook.
Why could you not do it? What happened?
Oh my gosh, because they just wasted so much time and they did things that were just so ridiculous. No, they're not. So the thing is you got to realize that a lot of people waste time thinking that they're busy when they're not busy.
If Jenni asks you to follow you during the day, make sure you look busy.
It's no, don't look busy.
Oh, make sure you are busy or
Be productive.
be productive. Okay.
That's the thing. People look busy. I've ran into real estate agents when I was selling real estate, back in those days, and they'd say, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And I'm like, okay, well, what did you do? Oh, I did this paperwork and I did this. And I said, did you put a buyer in your car? Did you show somebody properties? Did you take a listing? That's what you need to be busy about. Everything else is just what happens when you really are busy.
We have realtors have 5 main job descriptions that we need to do. And if we're not doing those, we're just doing other stuff, we're not moving forward at all.
Correct. And I think the secret goes back to don't think everything has to be this big project. It's little, small things. Mm-hmm. And you do them when life is noisy, life is messy. You can make sure that you still get them done.
And that's interesting. And also, that applies to anything in life.
Yes.
It applies to playing the violin or being a golfer. How many hours does it take to master something? 15,000.
I was going to say 17,000.
I think 15,000 is what I initially heard. Yeah. But if time spent on task learning something, if you really want to be really, really good, a master of something, you have to spend 15,000 hours doing it.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And you look at all your superstars, your heroes, your athletes, your people that are doing great in business, they have spent time on task on the important things.
Do you want me to tell you a fun story about Scott Hamilton?
Are you going to anyways?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So for those of you that have listened, you know that my first life was a professional figure skater. So a lot of hours spent on the ice, a lot of training, you're completely engrossed when you are an athlete going for the Olympics or going for that level. During the summer, I went to Denver, Colorado, to the ice arena, CIA, Colorado Ice Arena, where Scott Hamilton was training. Scott
Olympic gold medalist, superstar.
Multiple times, superstar.
This is in case of
if you look him up on Google, you will see he's amazing. Scott Hamilton in the 80s was the shiznit.
He's it.
He was it. He's like the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
Continue.
All right.
I'm not going to.
So when I would go out and practice my routine, I would be kind of like that hare. I was like, oh, I got to do this. I got to perform. I got to do this. I got to do my footwork. I got to, axle, blah, blah, blah. And then we would take our lunch because I was of a lower caliber. So we weren't on the ice when Scott Hamilton was actually skating. We were.
He had a rink to himself?
No, he was just a higher caliber. Oh. So there were 4 or 5 people in that caliber that were on the rink. We were the hour before.
More people on your thing?
Yes, more people on my rink. I would sit, grab my lunch, and then I would watch Scott Hamilton practice. And he had an hour. It was an hour ice time. And he had his coach, Don Laws, there. And I would say that he was probably on the ice for half an hour. Every single time.
Not the whole hour.
No, because he would go out. He would talk to his coach. He would do what needs to be done for that day efficiently. Once they were done efficiently and the coach liked what he saw, Scott was done for the day. And in my brain, I was like, what is happening? He's not working hard enough. He's not skating hard enough. How can he do this? And then that following year, he won gold. So I had doubts even watching Scott Hamilton skate, saying he's not working hard enough. He's not doing enough. He's not busy enough. That right there is the lesson learned that he's an Olympic champion. He had an hour of ice time. He only needed a half an hour to get that good at something.
There you go. Time spent on task, appropriate time on the right thing, right?
Right.
Well, there you go. So consistently showing up and focusing on the right things will take you to a successful career in life. How about marriages? Same thing?
Same thing. I think that, I think a lot of times when a marriage starts getting into trouble, what is it that one of the people do? They think that they have to do this big grand gesture, right? We got to get counseling. Or we need to go on a date once a week.
Or I got to buy a big piece of jewelry so she knows I love her.
There you go. And I'm not saying any of that's bad, that none of that is bad. But what I'm thinking is, what if a few months earlier you had incorporated a couple little gestures on a daily basis.
Mhm.
What about a text that you just made sure you send to your spouse saying, thinking about you, love you? And then maybe it was later on a little email with a funny GIF or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's little things done consistently that make
Well,
the difference.
Even without those little gestures, how about just every time you leave, kissing your spouse, or
Yeah.
make sure you have meals together, or just be there for them and support them every day, because that's what showing up means.
Yep.
Being there every day and supporting and helping and just whatever they need, helping them out. Because not everybody can. I know guys, there's older guys that I've seen that said, I've given a rose to my wife every day. I gave her a rose, and that's outstanding.
Right.
And that's showing up in a big way. But also just hugging them and kissing your spouse and saying, I love you and I'm happy we're together. Those things are just as important, I think.
And that's the little things. That's the consistency with the little things that build that foundation. And again, we just are saying that it doesn't always need to be the big grand gesture, because you can't keep big grand gestures all the time. And they lose their appeal. It makes it really hard when you're trying to constantly do those kind of gestures.
Mhm.
So it's the little small things that make a huge difference. And you can do it across your entire life. You can do it in your personal relationship. You can do it with your children. I like to think about it from the exercise standpoint. So up to about, what was it, maybe 5 years ago, Max, I was running marathons, half marathons, and I'll let everybody in on a little secret. I personally thought that if I ran a 50 miler, that was going to be what allowed me to lose my 10 pounds that I always wanted to lose. And I thought that if I did that big grand gesture of the 50 miler, that everything in my life would change physically as far as my body structure.
How'd it go?
It failed.
Oh.
Miserably. Now, and it took a long time for me to accept this, I do a little bit every day, and 2 days out of the week, I go and see a strength training coach. And when I leave the strength training coach, Max always says, how was your training today? And I'd say, hard. But the truth of the matter is, yeah, it was hard when I was doing it. But when I got done, my body wasn't aching like it did when I would run the marathons or training for the marathons. I mean, I hurt for days.
Did you just change your exercise, or is this back to our point of consistency?
It's about consistency. So what it was is I tried to do
but
a big...
you were consistently running.
But I was doing a big grand gesture. I felt like the big grand gesture was what you needed. But then in reality, all you need to do is do a little something for your physical exercise every day. And yes, 2 times a week, it's an hour with a coach, but the rest of it is walking my dog for 20 minutes in the community, or making sure that I walk around the building for 10 minutes to get moving. It's little small gestures done consistently, and I have never felt better, knock on wood, I've never felt better in my own skin.
Okay, well, that's great. I mean, I agree with all that. And I think that, as we're talking about being consistent, also have to be consistent in leisure time.
Oh, I agree.
Now, one thing you and I have done for the last 15, 20 years, maybe even once the kids got to be in their teens, is we followed the guidance of Gary Keller once again. He said the first thing you do when you plan your year, you pull out your calendar and you put your vacations in.
Do you know that my girl, Rachel, that does my hair, she thinks that's crazy.
Most people think it's crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy.
Well, they probably think, am I going to be able to afford these vacations? Can I really take this much time off?
Is that what they're thinking?
I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm thinking, per Gary, set your vacation time so that you don't not schedule them. Schedule the whole year in advance.
Yes.
So I'm going to go on this vacation, and make sure they're in your calendar, because if you don't put them in your calendar, those open days will go away and you'll be working and you'll burn out.
And even if you're not able to do a 7-day cruise or whatever, before we were able to do any of that, we always just made sure it was a Friday that you would remember how we'd sneak off and go to the movie.
Yeah, but we didn't. That wasn't really planned. That was just impromptu.
True, that's true.
But what Jenny's saying is, it doesn't have to be
big.
a cruise. Say 2 days. I'm taking a 4-day weekend.
Yep.
This weekend, this weekend, this weekend.
Yep.
And make sure that you plan that, or else you're not gonna get that leisure time and that time to rejuvenate.
I still go back to the fact that everyone I talk to, when it comes to how they think we're so weird that we plan everything out for the whole year. I think that sounds logical
Well, what
to
does
me.
it help us do? Helps us stay consistent.
Well, yeah.
It helps us stay consistent in our downtime as much as our work time.
Correct. Consistent, but it also gives you that opportunity to get that energy built back up, enjoy what your, work schedule is, not feel like you're just drudging through it. You've got something to look forward to. There's a lot of things that it helps with.
You plan to fail.
Yep, I heard that too.
Plan your vacations, plan your work days, plan your life, plan your hobbies, your habits. Make sure you have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you got nothing.
True that.
Right? Be consistent. We're going to go into closing arguments here, or maybe I should say comments. But be consistent in everything, and you're going to be a better golfer, a better husband, a better father, a better realtor, and you're going to be a better person if you can be consistent in your habits and in the stuff that's going to move you forward in life.
And it's just the small things. You don't have to do big things when you're trying to incorporate this. Go small. Go as small as you can in the beginning, and then just make it the habit. And then make that your floor, and every time you go into work, you never go below that. You can go above it if you've got the energy and the motivation, but never allow yourself to go below whatever that floor is.
That's us keeping it real, guys. We're both realtors, and those are our thoughts for rent. And we're keeping it real on the daily. Subscribe to our podcast here, become a consistent listener, and give us some feedback.
Hey, I saw that. You put that consistent in.
Yeah.
Good job, Max.
Are you ready to push the button, Jennifer?
I'm ready.
All right, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
See ya. Oh, there you go. Sound good? Okay, good. I'll pass over to Ireland. Here you go, Ken.
Thanks, Pops.